For those of you who feel frustrated by the lack of empathy following Charlie Kirk's death, let me start where I think we can find some common ground. Generally speaking, I am a very empathetic person. I care deeply about most living creatures, even people whose views are drastically different than my own. That's why, for those callous enough to disrespect or disrupt vigils where people are grieving, I find that behavior incredibly disrespectful. No matter how vile or abhorrent you believe a person to be or have been, trolling at a place of mourning is not the time or place. And that's probably where our agreements will end. If you are a fan of Charlie or someone who shared his ideology, of course his death is upsetting. But for the millions of people negatively affected by his words and advocacy of far right or often fringe right beliefs, his passing represents something different. His passing represents one less voice working to strip away their civil rights.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Charlie Kirk said on more than one occasion that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. He claimed that African Americans enjoy prowling in groups to attack white people. He suggested that minorities are genetically inferior to their Anglo-Saxon counterparts. And his views on women and the LGBTQ community followed that same disturbing pattern. So why would anyone expect a non-white, non-male, someone not suffering from any sort of political Stockholm syndrome, to mourn this man? The answer is simple. They wouldn't.
You were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know
Yes,
what your
ma'am.
reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
Just as you have the First Amendment right to mourn Charlie and celebrate his legacy, others have the First Amendment right to denounce Charlie and call out that same legacy as divisive, draconian, and dangerous.
Empathy, actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
But there is a silver lining. Since Charlie was a strong proponent of free speech, I would encourage his supporters to take solace in knowing that millions of Americans are honoring that very principle by exercising their First Amendment rights and expressing their views.